Hello people and welcome to the Outer Bound YouTube channel. I am back with another video where I'm just going to go through all the latest topic and news in sports this week, starting with football. I'm recording this on a Sunday and the World Cup this start today in Qatar. The first game that you did have was Qatar versus Ecuador. Qatar are the first nation to are the first country to host the World Cup that have lost it, and Ecuador were very good in the first half. They created a lot of chances. Valencia did score that goal in the opening 3 minutes, which was then given as offside. There was a lot of outrage on Twitter, but to be fair, it was offside. But at first, for some reason, they didn't show a replay immediately, or they didn't show us how it was offside. So I think that was a bit confusing. But then Ecuador did give away a pen. The keeper was very stupid. I don't know what he was doing. It's like he came out, half came out, then he just swiped at the player's leg, and then Valencia scored a brace today, which I feel like I haven't seen him since the 2014 World Cup. But it was good to see him back, and I'm not sure if he accomplished this already, but he did become Ecuador's leading goal scorer in World Cup history. And then the second half, they just didn't get our second game. It was a bit boring, so not much happened. In terms of the whole covering, I think it was a bit disrespectful the way BBC and Sky Sports came. I mean, I think BBC just opened the show with Gary Lineker just listing all the things that they're doing morally wrong, which obviously if a country is doing something morally wrong, you have every right to stand up in what you believe in, but we can't act like we don't have problems in our own country, or every country that has hosted the World Cup don't have their own problems. Like the next World Cup is in America, I believe, and they've got issues of their own, which I bet nobody's gonna list out. But because it's a Muslim country or whatever, it seems that everything has been brought to light. The whole thing with the One Love badge and whatnot. But as I said, if a country has a set of rules and religions that they have set in place, then I don't think it's our place to go over there and tell them that is disrespectful for them not thinking like us. But back to the football. Tomorrow, England do kick off their campaign. As I put on TikTok the other day, I do think England will get out of the group. They should win the group relatively comfortably. They kick off against Iran, which I believe will be a comfortable victory as well, because we just have a lot more talent than them. But in Southgate, I'm not trusting in him. I do think this should be his last major tournament. Every single time he comes up against opposition with real talent, he seems to lose it. Croatia in 2018, they lost it, and England had a very, very easy run in the 2018 World Cup, but they come up against Croatia, as I mentioned before, they bottled it. Then in the Euros and home so as well, they had Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips chasing Jorginho and Verratti for 90 minutes or 120 minutes. So when we do play all these teams that are relatively weak just because of talent, I do think we'll get over. But if the bracket falls the way I think it will, then we will come up against France at some point. And although France have lost a lot of talent like Benzema, Pogba, Kante, they still have Mbappe, they still have Giroud, Camavinga, and all these players that Southgate just doesn't know how to coach players to deal with. So I'm not expecting much with them. And then you've got USA versus Wales on the other side. I mean, USA do have Manhattan Messi, aka Pulisic, but apart from that, I just think USA do have more talent and will be able to carry that through. But as I said, my whole pick for the World Cup in general is just going to be Brazil anyways. I do think the campaign Neymar's about to have is going to be one for the ages, and Brazil do have a lot of good players as well. So yeah, moving over to basketball, the Lakers, they did win their fourth game of the season the other day against Detroit. It wasn't a comfortable victory because the Lakers don't like to do anything comfortable. I think they were down by double digits at one point, but then Russ checked back into the game. Six-man Russ, they started to bring it back. And yeah, they did win that game, but they are still 4-10. It's still a disappointing campaign by their season. Obviously, we hear the whole thing with Rob Pelinka and should he trade the two picks for Turner and Buddy Hield, which I'm a bit 50-50 on, because Turner is an expiring contract, Westbrook is an expiring contract. you don't want to be trading away your future for two expiring contracts, and then your team doesn't even compete for a championship. That doesn't make much sense to me, but we'll see how the season continues to go. LeBron, he's been out for the past couple of games, even though the Lakers did have like a 5-day break and he's still out. So don't know what's going on with him. And my thing is, even if Lakers do make that trade, if LeBron continues the injury records as he's been having for the past couple of years, the Lakers aren't doing anything anyway. So we'll wait to see. By the time this video comes out, they would have played the Spurs tonight, which I am expecting the Lakers to get a victory against. AD has been dominant again, and as I said, Lonnie Walker as well. He's really stepped up to the plate as the second man in the first unit in LeBron's absence. So, and then as I mentioned before, you've got six-man Russ. Over to the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie should be coming back after the whole fiasco with his social justice post or whatever it was. He was suspended for at least 5 games. He was given a list of things. You see, when you're playing 2K My Career and they're like, you can't play the next game unless you complete these quests. That's what was going on with Kyrie. So it does look like he may have completed a quest, or maybe the Nets just bust him, but he is back today against Memphis. Memphis are missing Ja Morant, I believe, because he has like a sprain or something. So, but even without Ja, Memphis did win. I think Memphis won all the games but 2 that Ja didn't play in last season. So, and defensively, the Nets just aren't great. So I'm gonna expect Memphis to win that game. But Kyrie is back. Although Golden State won their last game, they have been struggling a lot this season as well. Klay Thompson hasn't been himself. Obviously, he had the back-to-back injuries with his ACL, and he also had the injuries with his what was it? ACL and Achilles. That's it. He had the injuries with his ACL, Achilles. So, but then again, when he came back last season, he seemed to play relatively well. Like he was still making his shots, and he helped Golden State win a title. So I'm a bit confused how you could play that well last season, coming off these injuries, and then you come into a new season and you don't really play well. Andrew Wiggins is still doing his thing. He's upped all these numbers across the board, shooting percentage, points, assists, and all that stuff. But the rest of the supporting cast hasn't been that good. It looks like Draymond Green must have punched the talent out of Jordan Poole, because he's been whacked this season. Kuminga, all these people are solid players, but they're not all the players that we thought they would be. They didn't take the big leap that we also thought they would be. Wiseman, I don't know what's going on with him. They had to send him back to the G League to go and practice and get some more reps in. He had a good game for the G League, but that's not the NBA, so we'll see how it is when he comes back. Just lastly, obviously the Bucks played Philly like a couple nights ago, and we saw the whole clip with Giannis and Harrell and all sorts, and Giannis coming back saying he doesn't know if he should apologize because he did nothing wrong. He did shoot 4 from 15, then he's trying to practice. I don't know what's wrong with Harrell anyways. Should he still be in the NBA? I don't know. I mean, a guy playing 0 minutes, you should not be doing all that tough talk in the NBA. But yeah, I'm with Giannis on this one. If you wanna, like, a lot of NBA players do after games, they put up shots whether they're at home or away. So I don't know if they were trying to stop him, and then obviously he pushed the ladder, and now he comes out looking like the bad guy. So I don't know what's going on with that. And then moving on to Formula One, because I have picked up Formula One up the season, so I'm not expert, but I will try and talk about it. The Abu Dhabi Grand Prix happened today, where Verstappen got 15 wins, which is the most wins in Formula One history over a single season. But I don't know how to take that record, because obviously all the previous seasons they were having like 17 races and whatnot, so it's hard to measure up that record against the past. But I would say it has been a very dominant season from him. Sergio Perez, that was in the same car as him, could even finish second, which obviously you can't put all on him, because Formula One is, for me anyways, more of a team sport than just driver anyways. But never goes the less. You saw how dominant Verstappen was. Leclerc was able to bring home second after finishing 4th in the championship last year. And with the way Ferrari started the season, it does look like a disappointing season, but in hindsight, but with the way they finished last season, they did make big improvement. I mean, George Russell as well, he finished against Lewis Hamilton, which is some sort of accomplishment if you're going to finish finish higher than one of the greats, then I bet that's something to celebrate. Lando Norris, he was the best of the rest. I mean, and also Daniel Ricciardo as well. He's off the grid for the foreseeable future. He aiming to come back in 2024, but we'll just see how that plays out. And Sebastian Vettel did retire today, one of the Formula One greats. So, yeah, that's everything that's happened in sports over the past week. And I'll be back next week to cover everything that's happened in sports that week. So, yeah, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and follow us on all our platforms, or all my platforms on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at outerbounds_UK.